the street, you'll be able to hear it. We're going to do something a little different today.
West, Florida. Key West, Florida. If you haven't been there, you should go. And there is something that people do on a daily basis, on a regular basis, and people come there specifically for that. Because at Key West, right out there, you are facing the sun as it begins to set to call the evening for the United States. It begins there as you look out on the water and you see the golden sun as it starts to make its way over the horizon and it's about to set, and people travel there, and there are places set up along the beach where you can look out across the water and see the sun shimmering. And one of the things that people do is that they stand there and they toast the sunset. And I can recall the opportunity that I had standing there to toast the sunset, and there were a group of us and we were standing there and we were filled with a sense of awe, thinking, how can anybody say there isn't a God when you can see a sight like this? And we were taking it in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came a voice saying, yeah, Key West, you know, there have been several U.S. presidents that came here and made this their place for recreation and their way of relaxation and getting away. In Key West, there are people like Ernest Hemingway and Tennessee Williams that came here to write. And, you know, and they just started going on and on and on talking about that until finally a couple of people turned around at the same time and said, will you shut up? And let us just enjoy the sunset. That's how our minds are. We encounter situations, experience, circumstances, conversations with people, things happening, and we are in the moment. We start to enjoy it. And all of a sudden, chatter. I wonder how long this is going to be. I wonder, have they had that outfit on before? I wonder if they like me. I wonder what they must be thinking about me. I wonder where this is going. I wonder how long he's going to be up there. Did I leave the stove on? Where am I going to eat after it's over with? I wonder if they still have a brunch downtown in the Peabody. Chatter. And the thing that's really important to understand is that our minds will do that when we let them. And what happens is that over time, we identify with those thoughts and we become, as Eckhart Tolle reminds us, addicted to thinking. Addicted to thinking because we're always thinking. And the thing of it is that when we identify that and we don't realize that we are always thinking and thinking that that thinking is who we are, that our thinking is our mind, we get caught up living in the world of thoughts and over and over and over and over again. And we identify that, and when we identify with that constantly, we get stuck in those conversations, and it can lead us in places that we'd rather not go. Because after all, this week, I've been in a lot of conversations with people about the incident that happened there at Kroger Poplar Plaza. And there have been a lot said and a lot written about it and all of those things. And the thing about it is that when we look at the entire situation and the unfortunate circumstances that first caused all of that to happen, and then the response from many segments of the community that were, if people really looked at it, were really actually no better than the things that were perpetrated, because after all, you had people who disrespected other people, who physically harmed them, and then you had some people in response to that who said some really vile and racist and inhumane kinds of things, and none of it helped anything other than to separate and divide. Chatter. And what happens is when we stay out of the moment and we stay caught up in those thoughts and stay caught up in that thinking, those kinds of things happen. I'm often asked, how can these kinds of things happen? And I always say, when we forget who we are, when we forget who we are, it becomes possible. And then we get caught up in those conversations and we get caught in that thinking and we don't recognize and realize the truth of who we are and the ability that we have to disidentify with the constant thoughts and the constant chatter. Because see, when we find ourselves so often feeling like we're less than we ultimately are, it's because we bought into the stories that have been told about us and by us, and we stay stuck in those stories. Same old stories, S-O-S, same old stories. We say, stuck. I'm not good enough. I came from an impoverished family. I don't have opportunities. I'm this and I'm that. And the thing of it is that there are people that have faced the very same circumstances and have been able to overcome them. And then the thing of it is that when we see things like that happen, we have to recognize and realize that we have had opportunities, and we have to learn how to reach back and say to other people, here we are, here. We've had some things that have happened, but what can we do now? And so this month, we are talking about the idea that our minds are constantly working overtime, constantly chattering. And what is it that we can do about it? You know, because you hear me say all the time, stay in the present moment, be in the present, embrace the moment. Our breath takes us where we need to be, and all of those things, but then we still get caught up in them, and caught up in our thoughts. And so there are a couple of exercises this week that I'd like for you to do for me. And just humor this old boy, and to do them a few times a day. And the first one is something that I've shared with you before, but it's very, very easy to do. If you would just hold your hand out in front of you right now, not letting it rest on anything, just hold it down casually, close your eyes, and ask yourself, how do I know that my hand is still there? Without moving it, without flexing it, without touching anything else. But just feel the life force in your hand. Your body is full of this life force. It's full of this energy. Feel it. Remember that for the week. Now, what happened when you started concentrating on the life force in your hand? What happened to your thoughts? Stop. They got still. Now, you have taken control of the ability to still thoughts, but more importantly, to observe your mind. Because if you are aware that the thoughts stopped, that means you are not those thoughts. That means that you are something else. You are the observer of your thoughts. And then the second exercise is, there's a question that you take a few moments every day, again, in the stillness, and begin asking yourself as you get quiet, and the thought comes, you let the thought go, and then you ask yourself, I wonder what my next thought will be. And then when it comes, let it go. I wonder what my next thought will be. Because what happens is, again, you begin to be the observer of your mind, of your thinking, and so no longer are you connected or tied to your thoughts, but you are observing your thoughts. And then you begin to understand that you are not your thoughts. understand that you map your thoughts, then you observe how the mind takes you places that oftentimes you don't want to go. Where do you think emotions come from? Emotions come from, first of all, that mind is constantly chattering and is telling a story. And sometimes maybe one of the stories might be, have you ever had a situation where a person has said or done something that maybe that you saw a person that you always know and you see them and they're always happy to greet you and everything, and as you approach them and you say something to you, they barely speak or they don't speak at all, and then they just kind of brush past you, and then all of a sudden, ooh, so that's how it's going to be. Let me tell them a thing or two. You just wait till the next time I see them. In fact, I need to text them right now and let them know how, we've been friends all this time and everything. Wait a minute, I'm going to get on Facebook and I'm going to put a post in. I'm going to just, talk about people who are just so beside themselves and everything that they can't speak to friends. And I'm sure when they see it, they're going to recognize it and all of that. And all of a sudden, your mind has taken you somewhere that has chatted. You're caught up in all of that. And as I've said before, the most times that we argue with other people is when they're not even around. Y'all know about that? We argue in our mind. Well, I should have told them, but I don't want to tell them what they don't know about me. Oh, no, they didn't. And then, a little bit later on, we do encounter them. And they said, oh, I'm really sorry. I know I saw you there and everything, but I just got some of the worst news in my life. Lost a loved one or this or that. Or they give you a reason for why that seeming slight or disrespect that they paid you, why it even happened, what the reason was behind all of that, and suddenly you feel like, oh man. Now hopefully you didn't send that text or make that post or tell them those things, because suddenly you understand. But see, the thing of it is that when we are not aware, when we are not observing what our mind is doing, we can get caught up in that. And I like to say and use the example all the time, it's like, buses that are constantly leaving out of the bus terminal, and they have, over them the place, the destination where they're going, and some of them might say something like insecurity and anger and jealousy, and we just hop on that bus. Let us take it where it's going, and we stay stuck in that stuff, and we tell the same old story. But when we learn how to observe our thoughts, and observe our thoughts, and observe our thoughts. I remember a few years ago, the book, The Power Now by Eckhart Tolle, and I read that book, and I was really excited about the things that the book had to share, and I went and I started sharing it with a friend. I told a friend to read the book, and then I was going to get together with that friend, and I was going to share all these insights and everything from them. And that person stopped me because they said, oh, I got the book already. Watch the thing. I had at least 45 minutes of conversation. And they summed it up in one sentence. Watch the thinker. But when we learn how to watch the thinker, in the present moment. We're in the present moment. We're in the present. In the present moment. We're standing in Key West. In the present moment. The sun is shining, but it's going down. In the present moment. We see the shimmer across the water. In the present moment. Life is beautiful. In the present moment. An obnoxious so-and-so starts to talk. But we're so in the present moment that we don't hear them. Because we're in the present moment. Be here